killed with one perfect shot to each eye. Can you imagine?
Good day, sir.
Merhaba. Good day to be alive.
And, by extension, a poor day to take a bullet. Why are you just standing there?
I came to take the deceased to the cemetery, but caught sight of Mother Nature's bounty and had to drink my fill. He won't mind anyway. Let me tell you, friend, the sweet sea air, the calming whisper of the waves, it's a salve for all ills.
Do you know what happened here?
Officer said there was a duel, shots fired, and then that fellow took his last breath. Reminds me of last year.
So the inspectors have been and gone?
Of course. Police don't let an undertaker do his work before they've finished theirs.
You mentioned a previous incident.
It was in the old city ruins. I remember the deceased was very rich. Front page news, very, very rich he was. But a coin makes a poor shield, as I always say. And who needs it when a view like this is free?
Who died?
Oh, no, mister. It is not my place to say.
Not your place. Nonsense. As you say, he won't mind.
Death with dignity, that's all we can hope for, sir. He doesn't need his name out there.
We're done.
This man is no more. He's ceased to be. He's expired and gone to meet his maker. He's a stiff. Bereft of life, he rests in peace. You know the rest.
The bullet entered the heart at an angle, implying it was fired from an elevated position. He died instantly. Predictably, the rumours were exaggerated. The blindfold is intact, with both eyes unharmed. A key for a birdcage? I'll take it. A Webley top-break revolver. Blank cartridges filled with a wax-covered gelatin bullet. Effectively harmless, even at close range, but leaves a nice red splash on impact. Your opponent was behind you. A blindfold, discarded or lost. The duelist eventually reloaded his gun, but all the cartridges were filled with red non-lethal rounds. Blank cartridges filled with red wax-covered gelatin bullets, most assuredly non-lethal, if rather theatrical on impact. A case for dueling Webley revolvers. The corner of the box is broken, likely from being dropped.
Gosh, how exciting. I always wanted to be a member of a club. I bet you couldn't join. No good at following orders, are you, Sherry?
Ah, a contest then. I shall prove my blind devotion, so to speak, to their inane rules, and you shall eat your words. A Lamat revolver, .42 caliber. One chamber is empty, the others are filled with live rounds. The victim was killed by someone up on the wall. It may have been the referee who took advantage of the duelists while they were blindfolded. This seems plausible, but I must consider all options. What if there was another person here? The victim was killed by someone up on the wall. There may have been someone else here, a fourth person waiting for an opportunity to strike.
Sometimes I think beauty can blind you, or you can be blind to beauty, you know? Did he see it all around him, do you think, before he covered his eyes and drew his pistol?
Can we please leave the nattering behind?
Oh, friend, relax. Life's too short to be short with people.
Enough tomfoolery. Give me the victim's name.
I told you that's his business, not yours. 2 men duelled, 1 man died. When you hit a rock, stop digging.
There is more to this case than meets the eye. The victim fell not to his duel opponent, but a hidden marksman in the ruins. Abandon your oversimplistic ideals and tell me the name of the deceased so his killer can be caught.
Ah, that is wrong, to be sure. Okay, The man's name was Eric von Staub. I heard the officers say that he lived in Scaladio.
At last! You may return to your vacant stare.
Miss von Staub is awaiting the police, sir. Perhaps you might visit on another day.
Good day, miss. I regret to disturb you at this tragic time, but could you spare a moment?
Oh, officer. I've been waiting. Is his body still in that horrible place?
A horrible place? I should introduce you to the Undertaker. But first, you and I shall get to know one another. I am Officer Holmes. I take it you are Magda von Staub, the sister of the deceased?
Oh, pardon me. Yes, I am.
My deepest condolences, Miss von Staub. Your brother's body will be returned to you shortly, as I believe the case will soon be closed. Nevertheless, there remain some formalities requiring attention. May I ask you a few questions?
Oh, if you must. But I'm unsure if I will be of much help.
Forgive my intrusion, but I must inquire about your bruises. Did you take a tumble?
Oh, I have a weak disposition. It is not so bad, but my skin marks more easily than a peach. It is the least of my sorrows.
But, Miss von Staub, I can tell you suffered new bruises even before the old ones had healed.
I have nothing more to add, Officer Holmes. It is what it is.
Do you know if Mr. von Staub had any enemies? Someone that may have sought to do him harm?
Enemies? I don't know. He and I did not discuss such matters, and he was rarely called upon by visitors. My brother's only guests were his friendly contests, but I was not allowed to participate. I merely heard it all from my room.
Contests?
Eric would practice shooting on the patio, and occasionally friends would join him, but I couldn't tell you if they ever argued.
Where were you when your brother died, Miss von Staub?
I was here painting Eric's portrait. My God, you could have asked the servants.
Alas, I needed to hear it from your lips. May I take a look at Mr. von Staub's room? His personal effects may prove invaluable in our understanding of the case.
Please do. Here's the key.
Look at those vases, Sherry. Bet they cost a fortune. It would be a shame if someone broke them. Oh, I love it when you're reckless. Were those Limoges porcelain?
You have a keen eye.
Well, I suppose it's yours. Next time, shoot with a blindfold.
Excellent score. An ointment by a Dr. Herbert, with a lavender and pine scent. A handsome portrait of Eric. Miss von Staub does have talent. The black paint looks thick. It's been mixed with something. The rounds have been emptied. She covered the locked windows with paintings, but the atmosphere remains oppressive. A sad home for a young woman. A wealthy man in his 60s. Sir Barnaby Boddington, 1879. A typical crest for a league or a guild. Club headquarters, 190th anniversary celebration. This whip is well loved and well used. There is an unfinished portrait of your brother in your room. Beautiful to be sure, but one detail drew my attention. Why did you add gunpowder to your black paint?
You entered my room? I thought you were only inspecting Eric's.
It is standard procedure, Miss von Staub. Now, tell me about the gunpowder.
Eric's art was his shooting, and this painting is my tribute to him. It felt appropriate. We're both artists in different ways.
One of the revolver cases in your brother's room is missing. Do you know where it may be?
I'm not permitted in Eric's quarters. I suppose he must have taken it with him.
I found burnt letters in your brother's room. I believe they were addressed to you.
To me? From whom?
They appear to be from some of your suitors. Why did you burn them?
I didn't. I didn't even know about them. Eric, he never said a word.
It seems you and Mr. Boddington were to be engaged. Were you as thrilled at the prospect as your brother?
Mr. Boddington is not how I had imagined my husband. But it was Eric's choice. I didn't dare dispute it.
I'll gladly tell you everything I know, officer.
Friend, you're lucky there is something I know about this.
That's a question I can answer.
Please come in, sir. The gentlemen are waiting for you on the training ground. Down the stairs.
A nice apricot aroma. Marilyn schnapps, I presume. Half full. 2 glasses with dregs of alcohol. Should I pour us a drink, John? Glass crushed underfoot with damp traces still visible.
Who the devil are you? I won't go down without a fight.
Sherlock Holmes. And if I wanted a fight, you would already be on the floor. Fortunately for you, I'm merely here to ask a few questions.
Is that so? Well, come on, pretty boy. How about I fix that nose of yours? Give it a bit more character.
Enough. Your compatriots attacked me and I responded. They still have their lives, unlike Mr. von Staub.
True. At least you are not a murderer. Fine, you may speak.
So you are Mr. von Kram, one of the club's best shots, the referee of the deadly duel, and witness to Mr. von Staub's murder.
Incorrect. I am the best shot at the club. Heinrich Vögen von Kram. But how did you know I was there?
Your clothes, Mr. von Kram, the dirt on your trousers confirms your presence in the old ruins. And your jacket features a bloodstain from your attempts to save Mr. von Staub.
That is impressive.
It is merely inferential. Now, a few questions, if I may.
Be my guest. I have nothing to hide.
I'd like to speak with the other competitor.
He left the island. Mr. Dorfman was sure that the killer was after him. He is innocent, I assure you.
Indeed, from his position it would be impossible to fire the bullet at such a downward trajectory, but he was a witness. Shame. So, what transpired in the old ruins?
Everything began as normal. The signatures, choice of weapons. I checked it all, and then blindfolded the duelists. Erich stood to my left, and his opponent, Mr. Dorfman, to my right. Before they could begin, the killer fired. And I'm sure it was not Dorfman.
Why are you so sure?
The sound was different. Not a Webley revolver. and further away. The killer must be an excellent shot to hit the heart.
You said the killer was an excellent shot. Do you suspect someone from the club?
Definitely not. No one from the club would break our rules.
Did you or the other duelist see the murderer?
No. The killer slipped away into the hills, so we turned our attention to Eric, rest his soul.
And neither of you pursued the culprit?
I will not have my character impugned. We had only blank cartridges and a fallen friend at our feet. He was our focus.
What transpired after the shooting?
I heard Eric cry out and fall. Mr. Dorfman turned and fired at the killer, but I shouted at him to stop and help. I tried to save Eric, but it was too late. He was gone.
You have a nice collection of pistols, Mr. Von Kram.
Ah, a fellow connoisseur of firearms. Did something catch your eye?
What caught my eye is a missing Lamette. Where is it?
Ah, that one. I lost it in a bet. A rare failure of mine.
A bet with whom?
That's private, Mr. Holmes, and unrelated to your investigation.
It seems you owed Mr. von Staub a small fortune.
A fortune to you, perhaps, but a trifle to me. Our debts ebbed and flowed. In our next contest, there was every chance I would win it back. Eric was too concerned about all that. Frankly, he often lacked the demeanor of a nobleman. His progressive tendencies could be grating.
As it happens, a Lamette .42 caliber revolver was discovered at the crime scene. You said you were missing a Lamette, yes?
I did, but my Lamette was a .36 caliber.
And you can prove that?
My word is proof enough. If I said it, it is true.
Last year, there was a similar incident in which a duelist died. What can you tell me?
A tragedy. I shot too well, and my opponent stumbled from the impact. He slipped and fell down the cliff. I regret it all. I have not participated in a duel since. Instead, I only take the role of a referee and supervise the proceedings for safety. I swore that no other club member would die in a duel. Alas, someone else intervened.
Doesn't appear to be the happiest childhood. Cecilia von Kram with Heinrich, Cologne, 1864. Mein Wunder. There must be more you can recall from the day of the duel.
I wish. My eyes make me a poor witness, I'm afraid.
Yes, your blindness, an affliction since childhood, one presumes. No scars on your face, and you carry yourself with confidence.
I'm starting to see your worth, Mr. Holmes.
But this limitation developed your other senses and made you an excellent marksman. So, tell me, did you notice anything else?
I do recall a floral smell. Something artificial. It was sweet and fresh and came from the direction of the killer.
Do you recognize this scent?
Yes. This is it. The smell I noticed at the ruins. Where did you get it? Do you know who killed Eric? Tell me his name.
Going on a trip, miss?
No, I'm leaving permanently. This place brought me nothing but sorrow. I am sorry. What do you want?
I think the time has come to be honest with each other, Miss von Staub. I'll start with my confession. I misled you in our previous meeting. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I do not work for the police.
What? I don't understand.
In actuality, I was independently investigating your brother's death and came to an unexpected conclusion.
How? Why?
It was not a tragic accident, miss. It was cold-blooded murder. And I know the culprit.
No. Who is he?
Nice try, but as you well know, I'm talking to the culprit right now.
What? Are you out of your mind?
Certainly not. Allow me to explain how you killed your brother. The missing box in your brother's room contained a Lamette, the same weapon used for the murder. You stole it to kill your brother.
What? No. Eric was obsessed with guns. I bet he simply left that revolver somewhere else.
Yes, it was left somewhere else. The crime scene. Abandoned in panic, a typical feminine response.
No, I've never been to that cursed place.
You hid behind the wall in the ruins. None of the others present could have killed Eric from that position. Both the duelists were blindfolded and Mr. von Kram is ill-sighted.
So nobody saw anything? Your imagination has run wild.
Ah, but you forget one thing. A blind man's other senses grow stronger. Mr. von Kram detected a lavender and pine scent. That of your ointment.
You're taking the word of a sightless man. This is monstrous.
It is your brother who was monstrous. He was a tyrant and you could tolerate his abuse no longer.
Living with Eric was a nightmare, yes. But he was my brother.
Now, Miss von Staub, take your time. Tell me the truth.
After our parents died, my life slowly became hell. My brother began to humiliate me. Then he became violent. Each day he'd invent a new punishment. Shut my room, burn my paintings, starve me. And without fail, I would be beaten. All visits were forbidden, all contact verboten. I was his caged bird, his pet. When we did go out, he used me to bait influential people. He sold me to Mr. Boddington simply to earn a place amongst this island's elite.
Was that not freedom from your brother?
He sold me as a thing, sir. Who do you think this gentleman was? I could not endure more cruelty. Mr. Holmes, I'm begging you. Please don't do this to me. Don't throw me from one cage to another.
You have suffered enough, Miss von Staub, but now it is over. I will not turn you into the police.
I don't know what to say. What will happen with the case?
The usual. With their typical stupidity, the inspectors will confidently declare the case a tragic accident, and that will be that.
I didn't expect such kindness.
Kindness? No, where the truth reveals injustice, I expect accountability, but in this matter, Miss von Staub, I see no injustice at all.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I'll never forget what you're doing.
I am behind you 100%. I'm sure Miss von Staub wouldn't waste the chance for a better life.
Unholy howls keeping you inside at night? Luigi can help. All ghosts gone. Meet on southern pier of the Silverton port. Donations gratefully accepted. This town loves the supernatural, but all I see is another scam to disprove.
The world shrivels under a skeptic's eye. That's why you're so sullen, Sherry. You leave no room for delight in the magical.
I delight in making the unknown known. Let us begin by asking someone about the poster and then pay this Luigi a visit at the port. Could you help me?
Sir, I can assist you straight away.
Someone is playing on people's ignorance and fear.
Or someone is bravely going toe-to-toe with an otherworldly evil to protect the innocent. You're the hero people deserve, but he's the one they need. I am the ghost of Christmas yet to come, Sherry. I see that you'll spend it all alone.
Not enough blood for a murder, but plenty to suggest fists were flying in a collie shangles. I wonder if Luigi made it himself. Not much brandy was spilled when the bottle broke. Someone had drunk most of it already.
I reckon the ghost is responsible for all this mess.
Don't jump to conclusions. Until we locate any evidence to the contrary, we shall continue to exclude the supernatural. Let me concentrate, John. The ghost hunter's stand was here. Someone stormed up angrily.
Let me take it from here. It was the ghost of Cordona, a horrific being, formless, with evil eyes and glassy skin that shimmered like a nebula. It lurched towards its foe.
No, John, it was human. We're staring at the evidence of a scuffle between men.
A little imagination never hurt anybody.
If a mark realizes they've been had, that the fear was baseless, the money defrauded, they will likely return to voice their displeasure. And thus Luigi took a beating. Fools should have at least moved locations between scams. After the attack, he fled bloodied and bruised. The empty bottle suggested intoxication. This vomit confirms it.
Well, if you were tailing supernatural creatures for a living, wouldn't you start drinking?
Thanks to you, I am often forced to tail the supernatural, and yet I'm still sober. Mostly. There's a bottle missing. After expelling all the alcohol from his stomach, it seemed he was compelled to replenish it.
Perhaps because booze eases the pain of his lonely and dangerous life as a ghost hunter.
You need to stop reading the Penny Dreadfuls. He threw the bottle here. I think we must be near his hideout.
Maybe we just leave, Sherry. There is no need to disturb the ghost hunter from his beauty sleep.
Looks like an appropriate home for a ghost hunter.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Donations, one presumes. Handcrafted, actually rather beautiful work. An eerie and unsettling sound. The painter definitely has an aesthetic. So this is where all the money was going. So you see, John, nothing supernatural, just a drunken lowlife fooling superstitious sailors for a living. You can't argue with the truth. The truth will out no matter what one does. You can embellish it all you like, but you're just delaying the inevitable.
Well, he can delay it no more. After what happened at the port, this scam won't work again. Maybe we just leave, Sherry. There is no need to disturb the ghost hunter from his beauty sleep.
Did you hear? Another sailor's drowned on the beach. What an idiot.
Here to gawk at the bloater?
Not at all, officer. Perhaps I can help.
Help with what exactly? Solving an accident? Fellow drank himself to death, literally. Case closed. It's not the first case, neither. A few days ago, another drunken sailor drowned himself in a fountain.
What can you tell me about the other sailor?
Nothing to tell. Some rich chap complained about a dead body in a fountain. Wasn't me who inspected the scene, though. Should have gone easy on the bottle, if you ask me. They get to shore, they start drinking like fish. Too bad booze doesn't make them grow gills, eh?
There's talk on the streets that a siren could be responsible for the drownings.
A siren? You mean the bird woman kind? Why, of course, we've got sirens aplenty round here. Harpies, too. Oh, please.
I would like to take a look around.
Go ahead. Just don't disturb the evidence, all right? I still have to write my report.
His whole body is tense, stiffened by rigor mortis. The kiss on the forehead is quite intimate, but the vulgar lip rouge suggests a different type of intimacy. Interesting. The face is frozen in a contorted smile. His fingers are clenched as if he's clutching to life even now. Worn, soaked boots, size 8. Something smells fishy here, and it's not brine. It's a good thing the tide hasn't washed away the tracks. I should inspect them more closely. Siren Song. The rumours weren't so absurd after all. There's still some left, just enough for a tipple. The sediment contains cyanide. It turns out he was poisoned.
Didn't the copper say that fellow drank himself to death? But he wasn't wrong.
A bright red lip rouge mark. Light tobacco with a hint of citrus.
What now? I've still got my report to write, so make it quick.
I hate to break it to you, officer, but it wasn't an accident.
Care to elaborate, smarty boots?
The bottle of wine I found near the victim had been poisoned with cyanide. He was dead before he hit the water.
Whoa, that's a twist. Any leads on the poisoner?
Nothing to put my finger on, but I might need to inspect the other drowned sailor.
Well, of course I won't stop you. It's not my case anyway. We had a complaint about a body in a fountain. Can't have bodies laying about in fountains, can we? It was somewhere in Scaladio, as far as I know. You think they're connected?
That is what I intend to find out. Thank you.
Oh, look, they drained the fountain and removed the body. We're too late.
No matter, we'll work with what we have.
Drowning in a 2 feet deep fountain? I've seen some things, but this really takes the biscuit.
Last week's newspaper, the front page reads, "Sky is the limit, Governor funds Arsenal's second airship." A broken bottle with no label. Light tobacco with a hint of citrus. A bright red lip rouge mark. The victim won't be needing his cap anymore. I might as well take it. This wine again. Don't sailors prefer spirits? Ugh, the litter bin is right there. A cotton shawl. Could it be our Siren's? A worn leather tobacco pouch, salt-stained from a long time at sea. This sailor is another victim of the same woman. She poisoned him and pushed him into the fountain to make it look like an accident.
Sherlock, the spot where he fell. I saw something. Maybe you should take a look. Blimey, the great detective is baffled by a piece of cutlery.
A water-soaked matchbox from the Drinking Dutchman. Must be a local pub. Venetian copper soldi. Authentic, but worthless.
What can I get you, mate?
Nah, I'm good. Don't want to end up like that guy who drowned in the fountain after having one too many.
Aye, I know the fella. Shame, damn shame. But let me tell ya, it wasn't the drink that got him. 'Twas a curse.
Let me guess. It had something to do with the siren?
No way, mate. That's just a daft superstition. I'm talking about a real curse here. He was from HMS Achilles. Some British schooner, nothing special. Except one of them Jack Tars shot an albatross. Everyone knows it's bad luck. Everyone. The dimwit brought the curse upon his whole crew. 3 are dead already.
Wait, I've heard of only 2 such accidents. Are you saying that another man drowned?
Drowned or not, they've all kicked the bucket. Just this morning, another member of the crew was found dead. It's a curse, I'm telling ya.
Yeah, we're obliged to find...
It must indeed be the curse, but how do you know all that?
Why, he told me the whole story himself.
The victim told you?
His crewmate. The one who killed an albatross, Harry Thorne. He's renting a room upstairs. Every day, he gets completely rat-arsed, raving on and on about the bird around his neck. He's sleeping it off right now. But when the blighter wakes up, it'll be the same thing all over again.
Do you have a free room?
Certainly do. Dirt cheap. Here's the key. Go pick anyone you like.
Oh, the smell alone makes me feel groggy.
If he stopped drinking, the entire alcohol industry would collapse.
The photo of the cursed crew. Here's Thorne, and right next to him, our first drowning victim. Crew of HMS Achilles, Cordona, 1879.
The same as we saw earlier. She's pretty free with her kisses.
Perhaps too much for her own good.
Now we walk into a trap, guns blazing. The game is afoot, Sherry boy.
Well said. I think I'll borrow that line from you, old chum.
Well, if it ain't Mr. Smarty Boots. Guess what? You were right about the poisoning, but this time I'm ahead of the game. We've got another homicide on our hands. Same method, same everything. See for yourself.
He suffered a head wound. There's caked blood in his hair underneath all the mud. A sharp, bloody rock stuck deep in the mud. The officer must have rolled the body over. An empty bottle of rum. There'd be no sirens. Looks like he slipped. This was clearly an accident.
What did I tell you? We've a killer on the loose. I knew it.
That may be true, but this here is very clearly an accident. The victim slipped and hit his head on a rock. I would have thought it obvious.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I thought I had all this sewn up. But you just had to come along and make me look like an idiot. I hope you're happy now, genius. Just move along.
So it was a curse after all. The curse of clumsiness. I hope it's not contagious.
Come on over, lovey. Don't be shy. I can see you're up for some fun. Madame Pauline will see you right. Girls, boys, a bit of both. Whatever tickles your pickle, darling.
I'm looking for the girl who wrote this letter. Perhaps you know who she might be?
Let me see. No, I don't know, lovey. I have a Lizzie here, but I doubt she can even spell her own name. And what's all this nonsense about a special client? This is a business we're running here, not a charity.
I'm looking for a specific girl. This is her shawl. Do you have any idea where she might be?
Ah, I know who you mean. It's the goody two-shoes down the street. She's not one of mine, though. She's not even a working girl, if I say so myself. Trust me, lovey. We'll give you a much better time.
I don't doubt it, Ma'am, but I have to see her first. Thanks for your help.
Too bad I have to look after you, Sherry, otherwise I might investigate a few of those ladies.
Harry, it's you! I knew you'd come. It's been so long, but you haven't changed a bit. I don't suppose you remember me, do you?
You must be Eloisa, yes? I got your letter.
Wonderful! No point beating around the bush then. I've missed you, love. I wonder if you still have your prowess. Why don't we go to my place for some wine and something extra?
How could I refuse such an offer from a pretty girl like you? Let's go right now.
Wonderful. Follow me. It's not far from here. Here we are. Make yourself comfortable, love. There's wine on the table. You should have some. Loosen you up. Bring out your naughty side.
Won't you drink with me?
Absolutely. I'll join you in a minute. I just need to powder my nose.
All right then. I'll be waiting for you, pet.
Did you just call her pet? Seriously? Boy, you are truly hopeless, Sherlock.
Siren Song. She is consistent, I'll give her that. The bottle was open and the cork replaced.
This lip rouge looks good on her. Just saying.
Ah, she's smoking citrus-flavoured cigarettes. The dots connect. White powder with a bitter almond-like odour. These are no smelling salts. It's cyanide.
And done. No hard feelings, Mr. Fickus, right?
HMS Achilles, Friday, 5 p.m. She prepared for their arrival. The beloved child of a rich family.
Oh, here she comes.
Sorry for making you wait, sweetie. I hope the wine has kept you good company.
Oh, yes. I needed to wet my whistle real bad.
Splendid, Harry. Bravo. Refreshing, isn't it? Now let me refresh your memory as well.
I don't feel so well.
As well you shouldn't. But don't worry. It'll be all over soon. It won't hurt. Much. At least not as much as when you and your friends forced yourselves on me. Not as much as when you ripped away my clothes, my dignity, my life. I've hated you with all my heart. But not anymore. Now I forgive you. Truly I do. Let me kiss you goodnight.
Now, that would hardly be appropriate, miss.
Wait, what's happening?
It's time I drop my act. This beard is false. I'm not Harry Thorne.
Oh, I see. You're from the police then, yes? Here to question me?
There's no need. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I know that you killed Thorne's crewmates, and I know why.
Well, Mr. Holmes, you can save your breath. I won't deny a thing. But please stop tormenting me with this farce. Do what you must.
I will keep it a secret, but you do have to stop.
How can I stop now after all I've done? I thought it would bring me solace. Stupid. It is too late.
You cannot undo what you've done, that much is true, but it's not too late to move on. It's never too late.
You're right. You must be right. I knew it all along, I just didn't have it in me to admit it.
I'm glad that you do now. And here's your shawl. Try not to lose it again.
I won't. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Thank you so much.
I remember the monument. Cordona's legendary pirate, the Robin Hood of the place. Do you recall it, John?
I do. I wonder if... What is that?
Karim of the Silver Hand, the pirate with a golden heart. I told you I remembered him.
Hey Sherlock, I'm up here. Guess what I've found? A riddle, and it's about a treasure. Listen to this.
What? John, you've surpassed yourself.
Come on, Sherry. This is just like the old days. Sherlock and John on a pirate's treasure adventure.
So the treasure is real, but tell me, John, how did you even guess there would be something on top of the monument?
Didn't I ever tell you about my psychic abilities? I should have. I even know where we ought to go next. I always admire the way you notice such details.
In such moments, I often recall Mother's voice teaching us of the importance of the smaller details. The world hangs on small hinges, John.
Even the most chaotic miracle becomes sequential when you take a closer look. I remember.
Wait, what? Is this Mother's magnifying glass? How did it end up here? What happened?
Sherry, you really need to learn to let miracles happen. The whole world is one big, unresolved, chaotic miracle.
But they will become sequential if you take a closer look. I do remember what Mother told us, but that explains nothing.
Just let things happen, all right? Besides, this little miracle will look perfect in our manor, don't you think?